Hey, what's up, guys? So, we have some interesting updates to go over when it comes to The Last of Us Part 1. So, if you end up enjoying the video, drop it a like, and if you want to stay up to date on the latest PlayStation news, make sure you subscribe. So, today we got some updates regarding The Last of Us Part 1 because we are now officially less than 2 weeks away before this game launches. And so, over on Twitter, the account Naughty Dog Central shared some updates regarding this game. And the first thing they said is saying how pretty much that they've gotten information that there are no story changes to The Last of Us Part 1, so they haven't added anything or taken anything away, and also they're saying that Jerry's new model, Abby's dad from Part 2, like his character model is taken from Part 2 and is now going to be in Part 1, which, that makes a lot of sense, and so, yeah, when it comes to like no changes to the story, that obviously makes sense because Naughty Dog has said that this is a 100% faithful remake of the original game. So obviously that means that they're not going to add or take away from the story at all. I never even thought for a second that there would be anything changed as far as the story, but there was one thing that I was kind of worried about, and so were a lot of other people, was that maybe, what if Naughty Dog decides to add Abby in The Last of Us Part 1? Like maybe at the very end, after Joel kills her father, and then like it shows Abby, or like in a post-credit scene or something. My stance on that is that I always was against that, even though we now know that that is not going to be happening. But even if it was, I was always against that because, a big part of Part 2 is that we don't know who Abby is. Whenever we're first introduced to her character, it literally says woman whenever she's speaking, and whenever Naughty Dog was marketing Part 2, they would only refer to her as the mystery woman because we didn't know who she was. So if they were to add Abby into Part 1, for the people that have never played The Last of Us before, after they beat Part 1, if Abby was in the game, and then whenever they start playing Part 2, they would already piece together that Abby is looking for Joel, so it would take away part of like the shock value whenever she does what she does to Joel. And so, yeah, when it comes to Jerry's model being now transferred into the original game, that obviously makes sense. A lot of people were upset whenever Part 2 first came out because they were like, oh, they did race swapping. And I don't think they did that at all, because even in the remastered version, like sometimes the lighting was kind of weird in certain scenes, so it made that character look darker than what he actually was, and from what I remember, because I haven't played the original game in a while now, like it looks like a white guy that's just like really tan, and honestly it kind of just doesn't even look like a human because like you can tell sometimes like the PS3 versions of the game would pop through the remaster and you can tell. And so this account also said that apparently there's going to be new trophies added to this remake, because obviously we know that The Last of Us Part 1 is not going to include factions. It's just going to be the single player story and the Left Behind DLC, so it seems like the trophies that were part of factions have been removed, and apparently they've been replaced by brand new trophies. I have no idea what they're going to be because, I'm trying to stay away from as much information and stuff from this game until I actually play it, so I don't know if there's a list already of what the trophies are, or, probably in the next like week or few days we'll probably get what those new trophies are, and I am excited to see what is different when it comes to that because I do want to try and platinum this game, and then also apparently we now know that every single accessibility feature that was in The Last of Us Part 2 is now going to be in The Last of Us Part 1, so that's obviously very, very good news for people that do have disabilities and that want to play this game, either for the first time or just revisiting it, so that's obviously very good news. And yeah, I'm just very excited for this game, and we are officially less than 2 weeks away. And yeah, what do you guys think? Down below, let me know your thoughts on these new updates regarding The Last of Us Part 1. Are you going to be buying it day one? And if you are, is this going to be your first time playing it, or have you already played it in the past? Thank you guys so much for watching this video, I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed it or found it informative, drop it a like and hit the subscribe button by turning on the post notification bell so you don't miss my next upload. Until next time guys, take care.